Hello Year 5, and this is my first maths video for the home learning and also for our new topic, which is position and direction. And this time we're going to look at the position in the first quadrant. Now this is actually something that you'll probably remember from Year 3 and Year 4. So we're going to go through the steps. So the first step says label the x-axis. Well, actually the x-axis is this line that runs along the bottom. So if I draw a text box, I can pop an X in there. It then asks me to label the y-axis. Well, the y-axis is this line here that runs up the side. So again, I can insert text box and add a y in there. And there you have it. I've labelled my two lines. I now need to find out the coordinates that we have here. So to do this, I must remember that we always start with the x-axis and we go along the bottom and you count the squares. So if you look, we're going past, we're going to try and find A. So going along, we get to number 3, so we've walked along the corridor and now we're going to go up the y-axis, or sometimes people say up the stairs. So we're going to go up and you can see it's in line with 5. So the first number we came to was 3 and the next number we came to is 5, which means A would be 3, 5. And we'd write it like that. We always put our coordinates in brackets. And doesn't matter which way around that we write the numbers. Well, actually, it really does matter, because if you start with the y-axis, then your coordinates wouldn't work. And coordinates are really important because we use them for a lot of things. We use them for a lot in geography, for map reading and things like that. So what I would like you to do now is pause the video, and I would like you to try to work out B, C, D and E yourself. So if you pause the video, it will give you time to do that. Right, Year 5, so now you can see your answers and hopefully you got your coordinates correct. Now the next thing we have is we have to write these coordinates, which we've practiced already, so you should be able to do. Again, I want you to try writing these coordinates. Remember that we go along the corridor and up the stairs to find the coordinates. Along the corridor and up the stairs. Okay. Again, you might want to pause the video here. Right, Year 5, so if you have done that, you should see that A's coordinates was 4, 3, B was 8, 4, and C, which was a little bit tricky, it was actually on the y-axis, so we didn't actually move anywhere along the x-axis. We stayed at the 0 and then just had to go up on the line. And again, I hope you got them all correct. So now what I want you to look at is I want you to look at the shape that's drawn on the grid below. and write the coordinates of the vertices of the shape. Well, what I want to do is just quickly remind you what the vertices are. So on a 3D shape that we have here, you can see we've got the faces, we've got the edges, which are where the faces meet, and then we've got the vertices here, and the vertices are the corners. So we need to know, we need to look at this shape and write the coordinates. So again, I'm going to start with this one in the top corner. I'm going to go along the x-axis to 3. We go all the way up and I'm going to reach 8. So I will write 3, 8. Be handy if I didn't forget my brackets. I can then do it for this bottom left corner. I'm going to go along the corridor, along the x-axis, which I get to 3, and up to 4. And here I will be able to write the coordinates 3, 4. Now what I would like you to do at home is pause the video and try to work out the coordinates for the 2 vertices on the right hand side. And hopefully you got your answers correct. Now I skipped one of our problems just now, so I'm going to go back to it. So here we have a grid with some new coordinates on, and what we need to do is work out what the new coordinates would be if we moved each of the circles 2 squares to the left. So we're going to move the point this time. Remember, you're not looking at the letter, you're looking at the point. Okay, so what you would need to do is, for A, you would go along the corridor, so at 8, and we don't actually go up on the Y, so it'll be 8, 0. So if we moved A 2 squares to the left, 1, 2, that would be its new position, and we can say that is 6, 0. And again, if we were to look at B, we'd go along and say that we reached 3, and then we're going up 1, and then we need to move 2 squares to the left, so we go 1, 2. So the new coordinates for B would be 1, 1. Now what I want you to do is pause the video and try C, D and F by yourself. And hopefully you got the correct answers. And this is one of the problem solving aspects that you might face. It says the coordinates below create a letter. Draw and then join them on the grid to find out the letter. So again, we're going to have to plot our coordinates. So the first one we've got is 3, 7. So I'm going to go along 3 and up to 7. And I'm going to put a little X in there. Then I have to start with our next coordinate, which is 5, 7. So I'll go along to 5 and up to 7. And I'll pop another X in there. I then have to go 3 across and 3 up, and I can pop another X in there. I can then go to 5, 3, so I'm going to go along to 5 and up to 3, pop my X in there, and the next coordinates I have got 4, 7, so I'll go along to 4 and up to 7, where I can add my next coordinate in, and then I can go along to 4 and up to 3 for the last coordinate. So right now that does not look like a letter to me, but you have to note at the bottom it says that you have to remember that where you see the slash, it means that it's the same letter but lift your pencil. So if I was drawing it, I would go from 3, 7 to 5, 7, so I'd go across and I'd take my pencil off, and I would go from 3, 3 to 5, 3 straight across and take my pencil off, and then I would go from 4, 7 to 4, 3. So try lining that up yourself and see what letter you get. You might want to pause the video for a moment because I'm going to move on to the answers again. And the letter you should have found should be a capital I. And I hope you got that right. I now want to move on to another problem solving activity. And here it says you've got two coordinates out of 4 have already been plotted. Write their coordinates and the missing ones that are needed on the grid to create a square. So I know I've got 4, 7. I know I've got 8, 7. Okay, and I know they are 1, 2, 3, 4 squares apart. So we know a square, all the sides are the same length. So I know I can count down 1, 2, 3, 4. So this should be 4, 3 should be where my first point is, and my last coordinate, if we go along, should be 8, 3. And I can double check that by drawing a square. It looks quite right, so we can check. We should have 4 and then up to 3, and we should have 8 and then up to 3. And we can check our answer. There we go. Now for our reasoning problem, it says we need to plot the y-axis first. So have a think about what I've been saying. When we write our coordinates, which axis do we start with? So have a think about that, and is this true or false? Well, actually, it's false. And the reason it's false is because the x-axis comes first and then the y-axis. So remember, we go along the corridor and then up the stairs, or you walk before you climb. So I hope this has helped in explaining how we can use coordinates and grids to help us with our position and direction. And I wish you luck on your first lesson. Okay, hope you're keeping safe, and I'd love to hear from you soon. Bye.